it's Anna and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a short review of Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. It is the first in the Themis Files trilogy. The third one has just come out a few weeks ago, so you can now read the whole trilogy from start to finish. Basically it's about a girl who falls into a hole and she is found like lying in the palm of a gigantic metal hand that predates human civilization. The hand is also in a room full of glowing symbols and stuff that are pretty clearly not related to any human language that has ever been recorded. So, it's a bit of a mystery, to say the least. 17 years later, the same girl, Rose Franklin, is now, I think, a physicist. I'm really unclear what type of scientist she is, because her areas of interest are just sort of very broad. She ends up heading up the research team that is investigating the hand, you know, its origins, like, you know, where it's come from, who made it, what is it made of, what's its purpose, all of that sort of stuff. The story is told really uniquely. It's through a series of like files, interviews with like this unnamed interviewer who is sort of pulling strings behind the scenes, which is kind of government conspiracy, and reports and phone calls, personal logs, that sort of thing. So I have never read anything like it, personally. Like, a lot of people find this particular format to be quite difficult, but I just enjoyed it. I enjoy reading the sort of science, especially when it's fairly believable. Like, there were some shaky bits, but part of reading a story, in my opinion, is, you know, suspension of disbelief. So provided that the problems aren't too glaring, you can kind of gloss over them and still enjoy what you're reading. I thought it was actually really well done. Like, another problem like a lot of other reviewers seem to have is that they didn't feel connected to the characters. I mean, I didn't have that same problem. I didn't think the characterization, like character development and all of that, was the central sort of part of the book. I think that it's very much plot driven over character driven, so I didn't really have a problem with this. And the fact was, like, you're finding out about people the same way that you do in the real world, through what they say, what other people say about them as well. Interactions, like, you can't know what a person is thinking in reality. So I have no problem with that. I thought it was really quite well done. Like, it was brilliant. I just think it was brilliant. I thought the plot was amazing. The world building was great. I enjoyed all of the scientific elements in it. I enjoyed the unique narrative style, the writing. I liked the characters. Like, I think for the most part, I guess. For me, it felt quite reminiscent of a lot of anime that I watched when I was younger. So things like Neon Genesis, Cursed, 15 hours of my life I'll never get back. Moving on. There's another old series, I didn't watch all of it, Pat Labor, which is, I think, like policemen in giant metal robots. And like Gunbuster. Sorry. Which I loved. I loved Gunbuster. I liked Neon Genesis until they wrecked the ending. No amount of bloody reboots will fix what they did. Beside the point, I don't mind me a gigantic metal robot. Escaflowne is another one that has a giant metal robot, which is also quite cool. That's got fantasy in it. Instead of just pure sci-fi, it's actually mostly fantasy. Moving right along. So I think that if you tend towards sort of liking like scientific things, if you like anime, especially the giant robot slash mecha kind of things, even Transformers, giant metal robots, it has that sort of feel, but the plot was really intricately woven. I was genuinely surprised by some of the plot twists. I was like, oh, like that was set up back there, but I did not see that coming, which was wonderful because I like being surprised. Like in the way that, like, if it's been set up beforehand and I go, oh, you know, I should have got that kind of, instead of things just randomly going plonk, here you go, here's something surprising that comes completely out of nowhere. Not as much of a fan of that particular kind of surprise, so I just loved it. It was great. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. There was really not much that I could say bothered me. There's one thing that bothered me, and since I'm basically then in my craptastic review, I'm never saying that again, I hope. I'm just going to talk about it, so spoiler alert. The one thing that did irk me somewhat, I think it's the like plot device is known as Deus Ex Machina, where things are put in like, oh, handy dandy, like, let's just give you a convenient solution to a problem that you've got. And the problem was this. This is also a spoiler. In the end, they have a giant robot. They have assembled bits from around the world, and the problem is that the aliens that built it have backward-facing knees. Now, this is somewhat of a problem for a species whose knees face the front. Anyway, basically the stuff happens, and one character smashes another character into a wall and breaks his legs, and well, this is a lucky break. Now we can put in backwards facing like knee implants for him so he can walk again instead of being like a paraplegic. That bit I found a bit difficult to swallow, but that was pretty much the only thing that I had a problem with. So yeah, all in all, I think this is a brilliant book. I recommend it if you like sci-fi at all, especially if you like giant robots. So, and it's also brilliant, like mystery, suspense, what's going to happen next, where the hell did this robot come from? And a lot of that isn't really answered till right at the end of the book, and you get left off on a cliffhanger, but a good one, for the next book. So I'm really looking forward to reading the next one. And yes, this has been a rambly review because I liked it so much, and I find it hard to find actual words to describe how much I like things. It's much easier to rip things apart and like categorize them if you don't like it. It's like, I don't care about ruining my emotional connection to something by analysing it too deeply. Like, if I hate it, so. Because I loved it, I am finding it a bit difficult. But anyway, that's my terrible review. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe below. If you want notifications for future videos, click the little bell thingy. And thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. Bye.